The scare of getting relegated to the Championship from the Premier League is always a fright for many teams. However, this season there are 9 teams involved in a relegation fight, probably the most competitive it has been in the last 10 years. From Palace in 12th to Southampton in 20th, there is only 5 points separating all the teams above. And while everybody else is discussing the top 4 and the Champions race, today I'm going to be discussing the relegation fight, including all 9 teams, why they got there, and a short prediction at the end of the video. But if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I will appreciate any subscriptions that I do get. Thank you very much and enjoy the video. So as discussed before, we are at Southampton in 20th spot, and Hassan Hutel, it got stale. Nathan Jones talked himself out of a job, so we are currently with Sellers as manager, currently unproven in the Premier League. The wins against Leicester and Chelsea were huge for Southampton, really allowing themselves to get back into the race because they were falling behind slightly. However, I think the issue for Southampton and a lot of these teams is they only scored 20 goals this season, the lowest in the league. I think these signings in the summer were way too young for this team, and I think if they do survive till next season, they will become good. However, the signing of Onuachu going forward from Genk has really shored up the strike partnerships with Shea Adams and Adam Armstrong not really firing on all cylinders. With James Ward-Prowse, he seems to be the only leader in the squad, and I think the signings in this summer being way too young too soon shows the naivety in the Southampton team, and that's the reason why they are 20th currently. Leeds United are in 19th spot, and the Southampton win was huge under Xavi Garcia. The transition this season from Jesse Marsch to Bielsa seems to be a real struggle for this Leeds side. It is a struggle to transition from such an aggressive style that Bielsa had. However, Jesse Marsch's style was very open at the back, and it did leak them a lot of goals. A big reason why Leeds United are currently in the bottom 3, however, is that they have only won 1 away, meaning that Ellen Road should be crucial for Leeds if they were to survive this season. The surprise this season for Bournemouth is that they aren't in 20th spot, with the signings in the summer being quite lacklustre, and it's probably the reason why Scott Parker did fall out with the board. Gary O'Neill has done a decent job showing up the defence slightly with the signings of Sensei at the end of the transfer window. However, they have the leakiest defence currently in the Premier League. With a win against Liverpool and a decent performance against Arsenal, only losing in the last minute of the game, which is a difficult place to go to, they really have shown their worth in the Premier League this season, probably more than what people thought they would. With the signings of Otra, Semenyo and centre-back from Shakhtar Donetsk called Zabornia, attack seems to be the best form of defence, providing when they do win a game, they need to score more than the other team rather than not concede. Another surprise down there is West Ham United sitting in 17th spot currently. With a top scorer currently with 4, Bowen and Ben Rama, and overall 24 goals, it just isn't enough for West Ham this season. With the central forward signing of Skamaka and Danny Ings, who is usually injured, it really seems to be a struggle for West Ham this season. Not only that, but Maxwell Cornet got injured during the season, and Paqueta hasn't really been the player that everyone thought he could be. Playing in the Conference League as well always has its issues on a Thursday, meaning that the team is usually lethargic by the Sunday. However, I think that with David Moyes, you've got the right manager there. With the right experience, letting him go right now would be too late for West Ham. Next up is Leicester City, and they have really stuck with Brendan Rodgers this season, and it seems to have gone quite stale for the Foxes. The lack of signings in the summer, meaning that they're going to gamble on next season being a big season for the Foxes, I feel like it really has affected them. Keeping Maddison fit seems to be crucial this season, losing the last 4 games without him in the side. Bringing in Southampton in the winter transfer window seems to be an odd one as well. It doesn't seem to be up to the Premier League standard. The streakiness seems to be their biggest downfall, and it seems to be Brendan Rodgers' downfall in his whole career. It really does feel like the end of an era for Leicester City. Once again, Everton FC are down there, and once again it is chaos at Goodison Park. However, I feel like Sean Dyche is the key to survival this season. The clear lack of goals, losing Richarlison and bringing in Morpay and McNeil, who aren't proven to be goal scorers in the Premier League, is a spell for disaster. This is of course the result of the last 10 seasons being chaos from the management point of view from Mashiri and Bill Kenwright. It never helps when their talisman Dominic Calvert-Lewin is a proven injury-prone player. Does this mean that Everton are going to go down for the first time in 72 years? I feel like Sean Dyche has enough just to keep them up this season. There is one thing about Nottingham Forest you cannot say, and you cannot say they haven't gone for it this season. Signing 29 players and over 150 million in the bank. They really have signed a lot. But does quantity really mean more than quality? It doesn't seem that way at Forest. And if Forest were to survive this season, you cannot do this once again next season. The issue that Forest really do have is a lack of goals, an issue that a lot of teams have down there. And ironically, with the 21 goals this season, 7 of them come from Brennan Johnson, a player that was there last season. With no win in the last 5 games and only 1 win away from home, the City ground seems to be a crucial place for Nottingham Forest this season if they're going to get some points. However, one thing I will say about Nottingham Forest, which is good, is that I'm happy that they stuck with Steve Cooper after a long speculation that he would get sacked earlier on in the season. Wolverhampton Wanderers seem to be the only side in the bottom half with a bit of momentum this season, with 17 points from Lopetegui. However, 20 goals this season is an issue for Wolverhampton and a lot of teams down there, with Jimenez not the player that he was before the injury, and they are really struggling to find a striker like a lot of teams are down at the bottom of the table. Like I said, at the business end of the season, Wolverhampton seems to have momentum going at the right time, with the signings of Dawson, Sarabia and Kuna being quality signings in the winter transfer window, and a good winter window has really paid off for them on the pitch, and Lopetegui's style of play is really getting to the players right now. And last but not least is Patrick Vieira's Crystal Palace. Questions are being asked at Crystal Palace under Patrick Vieira this year, with no wins in 2023. Has it gone stale at Crystal Palace with a different style of play but the same results under Hodgson? Like I said, they haven't won this year and they are massively over-reliant on Zaha going forward, him being the top scorer with 6 goals, and Olsen, Edouard and Mateta haven't really been striking for them. And it seems to be a massive running theme at the sides at the bottom of the table. They just aren't scoring enough goals. They seem to be decent going in defence, but going forward, all of them seem to be really poor. Again, only scoring 21 goals, but the positive that Crystal Palace can get from this is they only conceded 33 goals, the best out of the bottom 9. So those are the bottom 9 teams, and like I said, I'm going to make a quick prediction. Having only 5 points between each team, this could be completely wrong. In a couple of weeks' time, it could be completely outdated. So if you haven't already, please can you go and subscribe to the channel? I do appreciate all the subscriptions that I do get. Can you like and comment below? And my quick prediction for who is going to go down this season is Southampton, Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest. Sorry if I've upset anybody there. If you haven't already, can you go subscribe to the channel, like I said, and thank you for watching. Have a lovely day and peace.